There's a chilling story developing involving the Saudi government. USA Today says, report, Turkish officials say pre-planned murder team killed Saudi journalist. A prominent Saudi journalist who contributed to the Washington Post was killed in a pre-planned murder at the Saudi Arabia consulate in Istanbul, Turkish investigators told the Post. A critic of the kingdom and its crown prince Mohammed bin Salman, Jamal Khashoggi, has been missing since he went to the consulate Tuesday to complete paperwork to be married to his Turkish fiancée, according to the Post. Turkish investigators told the Post they think Khashoggi was killed by a 15-member Saudi team sent specifically for the murder, according to the Post, which cited two people with knowledge about the investigation. Holy shit. Holy shit. This guy has some nerve. But you know why he thinks he can do it, right? Because he's bought the entire U.S. government. I mean, Washington, D.C. is littered with pro-Saudi lobbyists. He has bought the U.S. government. And I've seen articles like, will this be the thing that finally threatens the alliance between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia? Oh, please. These guys don't give a fuck. Our government doesn't give a fuck. Trump doesn't give a fuck. Listen, top Saudi officials spent $300,000 at Trump's hotels when they visited here. Trump then turned around and gave him a $300+ billion weapons deal. You think one dead journalist is going to get in the way of a $300 billion weapons deal? Get the fuck out of here. I mean, how naive. I wish it did. But nothing gets in the way of business as usual. Nothing gets in the way of the status quo. Guys, stop and think about it. Saudi Arabia right now is basically committing genocide in Yemen. They're bombing mosques, they're bombing hospitals, they're bombing open-air markets, they're bombing schools, killing women and children, blockading the country, preventing medicine and food from getting in there. I mean, it is a slaughter. It's a slaughter. They're doing it with our weapons. And we're helping them. If that doesn't make the U.S. go, hey, I think we should probably stop giving these guys a blank check and endless amounts of weapons. If them arming al-Qaeda as they're doing in Yemen and Syria doesn't get the U.S. to go, hey, maybe we should stop this. You think one dead journalist is going to change it? It's not. Listen, don't blame the messenger. I'm just telling you the truth. I wish that we could have nipped this in the bud a long time ago. Guys, Saudi Arabia murders people for simply apostasy and drug smuggling and witchcraft and sorcery. They kill people. They just behead people in the fucking street. This idea that like, oh no, they're reforming and they're becoming much more moderate. So, they let women drive. Oh, welcome to the fucking modern era, you heroes. But guess what? You know what they did? The prominent Saudi female activists who pushed the government to try to get them to allow women to drive, now they've been arresting them and killing them. So, oh yeah, no, totally, we agree with you on the thing that you want us to do, but we're going to kill you. Because he's a dictator. That's what he is. This is a brutal authoritarian theocracy. And we don't care. Nothing blows up the ruse of the U.S. as a human rights defender more than our relationship with Saudi Arabia and Israel. Two very brutal countries with horrendous human rights records, but we don't say shit about it. And we continue to support them endlessly. Because, again, it's more about business as usual and the status quo and the military-industrial complex than anything else. So I don't think there's going to be justice for this journalist, and that breaks my heart, but I think it's the truth. I wish that something would finally make it so that we break this unholy alliance, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Or it's certainly no human rights concerns that would lead that to happen, because on that issue, we simply don't care. The media's reform effort for the Saudi government, where they're trying to act like, oh, welcome to the Enlightenment, Saudi Arabia, a new era, Saudi Arabia's Arab Spring at last, as Thomas Friedman was writing in the New York Times. You look like the dunces you are, the corporate tool useful idiots you are, because you're the only ones in the country who fell for this nonsense. You know, we have been calling it out from the beginning that this is not, you think all of a sudden they're great now? Because you have a new dictator in charge? Beyond comical and pathetic.